What's up, everyone? I'm Cardi-C, the baseball card collector, and today we have another Topps Project 2020 update for you. We're going to touch on the artists, the cards, the print runs, and everyone's favorite, the secondary market prices. It's been about 3 weeks since my first Topps Project 2020 video, and let me tell you, everything has gone insane since then. Print runs and secondary market prices have exploded. You have articles being published about the set, on ESPN, The Athletic, and a couple other mainstream media websites that are bringing so many new eyes and attention to the set. And I just feel so lucky to be witnessing an unprecedented time in the hobby and providing these analytics to you to shed some additional light on what's going on and hopefully inform your buying and selling decisions. If you enjoy what I'm doing here, make sure to like this video and subscribe for future content. We are one subscriber away from 500 subscribers, so it would really mean a lot if you showed your support and appreciation and got us over that hump. If you're looking to do your own slicing and dicing of this data, I'm going to be uploading this Power BI dashboard to Google Drive and making the file available for everyone to play around with on their own. So check out the link in the description below for that information. So without further ado, let's get into what the hell happened in the last 3 weeks. Now, Ben Baller, his 2011 Mike Trout, was the 51st card in the set, had a print run of just under 35,000. This was the card that really changed the game. At the beginning of the set, the first 50 cards, you had your average print run around 1,000 to 2,000. You had strong showers like early Jeter cards by King Saladin and Matt Taylor in that $9,000 to $10,000 range. Sorry, 9,000 to 10,000 card range. And then cards like this 59 Bob Gibson by Keith Shore, Sophia Chang, and Grotesque between 1,200 and 2,000 were really the norm of the set. But after Ben Baller's card, his Trout card, just shattered the print run records, you saw a new normal of 6,000 to 8,000 for print run, and then your high performers are 10,000 plus. Strong performers, 15,000 plus, which we have seen with Andrew Thiel's 93 Jeter and Blake Jameson's 87 McGuire coming in at just under 21,000 and just over 18,000 respectively. If we look at the average print run by the original card, it should come as no surprise that Mike Trout and Derek Jeter are number 1 and 2. Frank Thomas number 3, which was a little bit of a surprise for me, but I think that is a factor of Don C coming in with his first card at just under 12,000. Don C was the 20th artist to come in. He was the last artist to have a card submitted. I think he had obligations and conflicts with another project, so that's why he hadn't released anything until the 73rd card. But when it's all said and done, my prediction is that you'll have Trout, Jeter, and Ken Griffey Jr. at 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Now, if we take a look at print runs based on the artist, your top 5, Ben Baller, Andrew Thiel, King Saladin, Blake Jameson, and Ermsey. Andrew Thiel has been the beneficiary of having both his Jeter and Trout cards released to this point. However, his Jeter and Trout were both very strong. I really enjoyed his interpretation of both cards. Ben Baller, his total print run count is always going to be propped up by that Mike Trout, but his 1980 Ricky Henderson with the marquee diamond Michael Jackson gloves was also a strong performer at just under 16,000. It'll be interesting to see where Blake Jameson ends up with his Trout and Jeter coming out later on in the set. You can see over here his cards were strong performers for when they were released in the set. His 87 Mark McGwire is the number 3 card in the print run right now. And then Ermsey's 1959 Bob Gibson was a little more tame than some of his interpretations on the other cards, and I think that really translated to a broader appeal and a higher print run, especially when people were taking into perspective the Mike Trout secondary market prices. They wanted to make sure they weren't missing the next boat on that. Another item to note here is that nothing is set in stone. Don C., his first card was the 1990 Frank Thomas, just under 12,000. JK5, Keith Shore, F. Tyson Beck. They have all been strong performers in the secondary market as of late. I'm very interested to see if that's going to translate over into higher print runs from the initial release. Now, for everyone's favorite topic, your secondary market prices. And guys, there are no losers here.
You know what that means?
No, what?
It means you have no skills and you're a loser! I'm a winner, see my prize. You're a loser who sits and cries.
Ben Baller's 2001 Ichiro is currently selling for $23.49. Ermsey's 2011 Mike Trout, $13.50. And then your next, 5 cards or so are all above $700. Tyson Beck, this was the 12th card released in the set. Jacob Rochester's Sandy Koufax, the second card released. Naturel's 1952 Jackie Robinson, the third. Grotesques 1959 Bob Gibson, the number 7 card released in the set. What all of these have in common are early releases that have very low comparative print runs, and that's what's driving up. Well, that's one factor why the secondary prices are just exploding right now. The Ben Baller Ichiro is an interesting case study. You have Ben Baller's followings who are trying to get in on what they view as a pop culture piece akin to Supreme clothing or Supreme items or sneakers that is going to have a ubiquitous association with the pop culture and the explanation of this coronavirus pandemic. Not only that, it's the very first card of the set. It's very low printed. If you wanted to collect the set, you need this to complete that set. So it's sort of a perfect storm of external factors leading to this ever increasing, ever accelerating secondary market price. The same could be said for the Ermsey Mike Trout, once thought to be the icon and the flagship of this set. It's taken a back seat to Ben Baller's Ichiro the last few weeks, but that's nothing to shake your head at when a card you could have had for $17, $18 on Topps.com is now selling for $13.50. Tyson Beck's 1985 Doc Gooden, again, very early card in the set, $940. This had an additional pumping factor, and that was Gary V. He tweeted at Tyson Beck, just giving him a little winky face. And what would you know, at the next couple days, the prices continued to rise on this card in particular. Some healthy information over here on average eBay price by artist. The Ben Baller and Ermsey cards obviously being propped up by the Ichiro and Trout, with Tyson Beck following the same pattern with his Dwight Gooden. But every artist except Don C., who's only released one card, has an average eBay selling price on the secondary market of over $130. Absolutely insane. When I was interacting with some people in the Topps 2020 Facebook group, I had said it's insane that there are 25 cards or 50, I think it was 25 or 30 cards that are selling for over $100 now. And 2 weeks later, you could say the same thing, but you got to bump that $100 number up to $200. And if you wanted to slice the number down a little bit and say the top 15 are all selling for over $400. So here we're trying to show the secondary market prices by print run. You have the blue bars being your eBay prices, and then the trending line being your print runs. All these early cards, lower print runs, high secondary prices. If we go over to the right, these are the lower secondary priced cards, but higher print runs. You see Ben Baller's card right here. You see the Jeter over here. And it's interesting to see that a bunch of these cards are really still holding value, even when print runs have doubled, tripled, or even quadrupled. The most telling item for this for me is Matt Taylor's Frank Thomas. So if we hop back over here and look at, let's see, gotta scroll down a little. Matt Taylor, Frank Thomas. This was the 83rd card released. 8,806 was its print run. If we look at number 80, you have a 10,000 card print run for Sophia Chang's 52. Willie Mays, Mr. Cartoon, 11,643. Ermsey's Bob Gibson, 14,867. And then the 81st and the 82nd card we've already talked a decent amount about. But in perspective, when you're just looking at print runs for that week, Matt Taylor's Frank Thomas sitting at 8,806. Matt Taylor's card seems relatively short printed, even though it's probably in the top 20 of print run for the entire set. So what you're seeing in the secondary market prices right now is people are viewing that as a short printed card, and they're trying to swoop it up before the price starts to explode. So even though the pre-sale had ended for that particular card on Saturday night and Sunday morning, May 24th, that card was selling for $50. Absolutely insane. So if you have FOMO now, the best thing that you can do for yourself is drop the 17 to 20 bucks on Topps.com when the card is released during that 48-hour window, or try and pick one up from a trusted reseller. On a future video, I'm going to try and see if we can have a seller on to ask some questions, because you see a lot of things happening in the market right now where there's sellers pre-selling a card, they're seeing these price explosions, and then they're canceling the orders to try and capitalize on those higher prices. So now my favorite part of this entire dashboard is the top 3 and bottom 3 weekly movers. And because I was a little bit delinquent in getting this video put together, it's really top 3 and bottom 3 tri-weekly movers. But number 1, Grotesque, his 1959 Bob Gibson interpretation you got right here is up 429%. 2 weeks ago, you could have had this for $140. Now it's selling for $832. Sophia Chang's 1952 Jackie Robinson, same deal. Here's her interpretation of the card here. You could have had it for $45. Now selling for $250. Mr. Cartoons, Dwight Gooden, 25 to 138. Absolute insanity. Who knows where the ceiling is? Even your bottom performers, JK5's 55 Clemente up 76%, 25 to 44. Fucci's 2011 Mike Trout 24 to 41. Ben Baller's 2011 Mike Trout 35,000 copies printed, $30 to $50. If we just take a look at the percentage difference, guys, 5x. We're scrolling. We don't see any losers in this list here. When people prospect or they invest, they'd be happy to get some type of return that looked like this 60 to 70% return over a year to 2 year span. You have a 5x increase over a 2 week span. Now, I'm not going to speculate on how high these prices will go, or if there's a bubble that's formed, or whether these prices are sustainable. I'll leave that to other channels. I'm looking to just supply my viewers with some information on what the set has done. But I am so excited every single day at 12 o'clock to open up Topps.com and see what the latest release is. I'm using some of the money that I get from selling earlier cards to pick up cards that I really enjoy later on in the set. And I hope that at the end of the day, this is providing a nice little distraction to everyone from the craziness that's going on in the world. But that's all I have for you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to try and put this out on a more consistent basis. These prices are changing by the hour, so 3 weeks between videos ain't going to cut it. That's all I have for you today. I'm Cardi-C, the baseball card collector. I'll catch you guys later.